What's going on, gamers? This is DBMgamer. So yesterday I uploaded a video that talked about some of the proposed changes of the patch goals. Now because these are only goals, I want to look at what would meet the goals or solve the issue that didn't involve using a Nerf bat. But before I can get into that, I have a few shoutouts to give. Now I want to give a shout out to Cody Bear, Thomas Murtaugh, John Duran, Oscar Frey, David Taylor, Mr. Nerdy Gamer, and Joel De La Cruz for also following me on Twitter. So let's talk about the big one right off the bat, Gjallarhorn. The problem that Bungie says is because it's the most used weapon in the heavy slot in PvE. Now in case you don't have one, why it's so widely used is because of the extra damage that the Wolfpack rounds do. They track targets and always land their damage. Now the rumor going around is that there will be a 20% reduction in the damage that the Wolfpack does, but it's only just a rumor at this point. The truth is, Bungie is the only one who knows the loose number, and they will probably haven't finalized it since they have some time to do some internal testing to make sure it will still be effective and not be excessive. But as I said, it's just a proposed change. So let's kick around a few alternative ideas. One thing that Bungie said that Galley had an unintended effect on was the LFG sites. Something I didn't mention was Bungie now has a second community manager now. What if they added an official site to Bungie.net complete with an LFG app for the smartphones that had moderators, so there wouldn't be a post of, have this gun or else. Another idea is to allow an option for matchmaking. Now this is the whole reason LFGs popped up, because there was no matchmaking. Why not make it a choice in the game with a disclaimer of your online experience may vary? It's not how I would fix the problem, however. What I would do is this. In the patch notes, I saw exotic changes, and one exotic that I didn't see get mentioned was this one, Dragon's Breath. This was a launcher that I got very excited for when I first pulled it from Courtesan the very first week, but since then I've barely equipped the thing. Why is that? Because it offers nothing over Gjallarhorn. They both rock solar damage. Dragon's Breath even has a bigger boom over Galley. Galley offsets that with just about the equivalent velocity trade-off. But velocity is one of the problems with the launcher. You almost have to pick Javelin to even have a chance of landing a hit on a target. So the perk option tree is almost a moot point with Dragon's Breath. You always take Javelin. So the only other small advantage that Dragon's Breath has over Gjallarhorn is the rate of fire. Now rate of fire is not a make or break stat, and it doesn't really help in this case. Even a special perk of leaving an AoE grenade can be accomplished by throwing an AoE grenade. So this exotic is also a problem. What if instead of a small reduction in Galley's Wolfpack round damage, they buffed Dragon's Breath to put it on par with the Gjallarhorn? Now how could we do that? First and foremost, the velocity would need a buff. Something just around true speed would be good since I don't want to overpower the Dragon's Breath. That way the Javelin would be an option as opposed to a necessity. I have Javelin equipped on my Truth as well, and as you can still see, Dragon's Breath lacks in stats that are more important than rate of fire. Truth carries an 18 point of advantage in terms of velocity, so that would be the first thing that I would change. Next, let's look at the AoE grenade perk, Pyromancer. One idea is to simply increase the size of the solar flare it leaves. Now this would make retreating enemies still take a few ticks of damage. Now this is one idea, but if I read this on patch notes, I probably wouldn't run to go try it. So let's try out this idea. What if we did away with the AoE grenade, and instead have the explosion of the rocket launcher leave a Viking funeral type of effect of a damage over time, so that things that were caught in the blast radius would burn? Is that something that would make you try Dragon's Breath again? How about if we combine these two effects? The damage potential of a rocket that moves as quick as Truth with an AoE grenade that, should the target move out of the AoE effect, would still leave a damage over time effect on him. That would definitely put Dragon's Breath on par with Gjallarhorn as far as damage potential. But with a blast radius like Dragon's Breath has, there's one more thing I want to add. Hidden perks. Truth has a hidden perk, Gjallarhorn does as well. Truth's perk is a hidden perk of Tripod, which grants 3 in the tube. Now Dragon's Breath already has this perk, so it misses out. Gjallarhorn has a hidden perk of Grenades and Horseshoes. Truth carries this one as a perk. What if Dragon's Breath carried the hidden perk of Tracking? Then you would run into a case of all of the exotic launchers would kind of feel the same. Honestly, I like the old style aesthetics of Dragon's Breath from the iron sights, but what if we gave it grenades and horseshoes? Now you have a launcher that will be incredible in PvP. 3 in the 2 with proximity, decent velocity, and the best in class blast radius. It would leave an AoE grenade with a Viking Funeral perk to keep other enemies from running through a choke point. This now becomes a launcher that's actually viable in PvP. A launcher like that would make me put Gjallarhorn down to try it. Now this is just one example of how you can innovate. The Black Hammer nerf, make it more of a skill-based weapon with stiffer penalties. Reduce the reserve ammo. If you miss precision shots, you're out of ammo. Want to make Icebreaker take longer because if it fills a role? Change its role. The only thing increasing the time will do will make it increase the time that people camp. Why not allow it to pick up ammo? That would possibly motivate me to move from my spot rather than sit there and camp. The reason why certain guns have come to the forefront is because these are the guns that make the grind game feel like less of a grind. If you want people to use different guns, put them in different scenarios. How many times have you fought Atheon and got teleported to the past or future and thought, I need Gjallarhorn in this situation? I'm betting 0 times. Now, super good advice is the exotic of choice in that situation because it's the right exotic tool for the job. Now, people will gravitate to whatever is the best tool in a situation. So design the game like that. Don't be lazy and make every boss a bullet sponge because that's the situation we have now. These proposed patch notes are just that, proposed. Now is the time to go to Bungie with constructive ideas. Sitting here and bitching on forums and going on Reddit and complaining, that's not going to get anything accomplished. I'm sure you guys have as many solutions as I do, but till then, I will dream of an LFG post like this. Well guys, if you like this type of content, or you have some ideas of your own, just leave that in the comment section, or if you want to see more, just hit that subscribe button. But as always guys, have a good one.